Welcome to Kidmissing Radio. I am your host, Angelina Wilson, and this is a huge update in the Asha degree case. I started making a video yesterday, a podcast yesterday, and it disappeared. So, I'm going to start over. Asha disappeared in the middle of the night on Valentine's Day in the year 2000. She walked out of her home for some unknown reason and walked down a busy highway where motorists saw her. And now it's coming to light that a motorist saw her either getting into or being dragged into a green car, an older car. And a car has been towed, but we'll get to that. Asha was 9 years old at the time. She would have turned 10 that August, the day after my birthday, actually, August 5th. Needless to say, I wasn't turning 10. My birthday is August 4th, and in the year 2000, I was turning 26. So, they have an FBI, Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, combined reward of $45,000 in this case. And I will give you the phone numbers after, which I neglected to do in the other video, or audio. I keep calling it a video because I'm used to doing this on video. I will do a condensed update in my October updates over on Kidmissing TV on YouTube. So, the people involved that was a repeat, are a family that owns a nursing home. Actually, I've owned two in the area, by the name of Dedman. Roy Dedman. Now, I have been listening mostly to Profiler Pat Brown because I do respect her. And she's telling people to calm down. You know, we really don't know much. Now, if Ash's DNA is found in that car, they're screwed blue tattooed. But there's all kinds of stuff running amok. Like, oh, the girls hit Asha with the car and then put her in the car. And, and that's just going by the fact that there's some front end damage on the car. The car is a 1965. Lord only knows when that front end damage occurred. Or how. So, so that's not helpful. And the car that was described and the car that they towed look different. Car that was described has the little oval windows in the back. It's a two-door. And the car that they towed, I believe, has wing windows. I'm old enough to have ridden in many cars with wing windows. If you don't know what that is, you have the regular back window, and then behind it is a little wing. You just use a little lever, and you can push the little wing out for a little air. Most people used it. Smokers used it to ventilate the smoke. Um, I sometimes used it when I didn't want a full blast of air. Um, but yeah, I'm old enough to remember wing windows. Um, so, um, what else? They found Roy Dedman's daughter's DNA by way of her hair on Ash's undershirt that was in her bag. Now, there was a mystery shirt in the bag and New Kids on the Block t-shirt. Somebody online I heard say it was a nightgown. It was not a nightgown, it was a t-shirt. They've been very clear about that since it was found. That was not Ash's. Or Asha's. My theory on that is that her stuff got dumped in the car or somewhere, and all the stuff that was picked up, the daughter's t-shirt was there for whatever reason, it got thrown in, and that's how her hair ended up in there. And DNA from the gentleman ended up in there because they took him back and forth to hospital appointments in that vehicle. So, um, my opinions and my opinions alone. Uh, so, oh, that was nothing. Um, Now on to the warrants. I got the warrants based on the DNA. The Deadmans don't live on the property anymore. They rent it to a man, and the man said it was really odd because there are 3 rooms in the house that are padlocked that I'm not allowed to go into. Huh? If I'm renting a house, I'm renting a house. You're not going to keep me out of 3 rooms in a house I pay for. And I wouldn't rent it if that were the stipulation. So that's just weird. But Roy Dedman he lived on Cherryville Road, which is one of the places that was searched in Shelby. Um, was convicted I thought this was supposed to show his convictions. Oh, conviction and or FTA compliance reported. Was appealed. This was in 1998. Okay, this is a I don't know what he did at the Methodist home, but he cannot go on their parking. It's a trespass order. That's not helpful. Um, I don't know. There must have been something more to it besides a trespass order, but I'm not understanding it. So there's a permanent trespass order, restraining order, whatever, keeping him off that property. I don't know, the Methodist home, and I don't know what precipitated that because there's nothing in the report that I have. Um, the gentleman whose DNA was found in the bag with the daughter's DNA is Russell Underhill. um, and I have in my hot little hands his autopsy report. He lived in one of the care homes that were run by the Deadman family, by Roy and Connie Deadman. He died January of 2005. Okay. It's hard to read. Acute. Huh. Oh, okay. He took atenolol and I can't read the other drug and lorazepam and something. Atenolol is a blood pressure medication and lorazepam is a tranquilizer. But I can't read what the other two are. He had alcoholism and in quotes under other substance abuse. He was a Vietnam veteran who had been very badly hurt. He was found slumped on a couch with blood absolutely running out of his nose. Um, I don't know. They don't think there was anything suspicious about his death, but to me that is suspicious. I also happen to have in my hot little hand the warrant. Not going to read you the entire thing because it would be really boring. Okay. That's just okay. In the matter of the address on Cherryville Road, Roy Lee Deadman and Connie Elliott Deadman share 3 children in common, identified as, I'm not going to say their names. I know their names have been out there. They're just stating that the DNA was identical to the youngest daughter, who, while an adult now, was a minor at the time, and therefore I don't feel comfortable releasing her name, even though her name has been out there. I'll just call her A.L. Deadman. So AL's DNA matched. The suspects are Roy Lee Deadman and his wife, Connie Elliott Deadman. They are not living together at the present time. Asha's been missing for 24 years. And there is no involvement of her immediate family. They have been interviewed a number of times, polygraphed. and they've been completely cleared. So says this affidavit. Um, Investigators believe Asha is a victim of homicide with her remains concealed. Roy Dedman and Connie Dedman are the two common links between the profiles of Russell Bradley Underhill and A.L. Dedman, collected and identified from Asha's undershirt and the trash bag which contained Asha Degree's book bag. Due to the ages of the daughters in 2000, it is believed they had adult assistants. Um, and they actually found the vehicle at the house that the daughter said she drove. Right here. A Mr. Spencer, a Jeffrey Spencer, lives there and has lived there for 5 years. And he stated there are 3 rooms locked with padlocks that have remained locked since he moved into the residence. He stated that Roy Dedman advised his personal property was in those locked rooms. A Laura Dedman was interviewed the day before they went to the home, which was on the 11th. She was interviewed on the 10th of September, and she said that several years ago she saw Roy digging a chest-deep hole on the property at 601 Cherryville. Okay, investigator Schumett observed a 6 to 8 inch dent in the ground where it was obvious the ground had been disturbed on the property. And he goes on to say, as an investigator, he knows that physical evidence transfers. Okay, now, this is the list of items that they took. Um, these are the items that they seized: 2 silver disposable cameras, film, micro VHS tapes, in other words, VHSCs, VHS compact, LG flip phone, journal written by Al Dedman, journal written by A.L. Dedman, a DSS complaint documents. DSS is Department of Social Services. It's what it used to be called here in Massachusetts, but they changed it. Transport logs, green and color AMC Rambler, documents containing Russell Underhill's name, black trash bag, Carhartt jeans, children's clothing, silver cell phone, and a .22 caliber rifle. What a... Now that does not say anything about a tooth in a bag. So I'm not sure where people got that from, but um Additional search warrants were executed in Vail, North Carolina, and Charlotte, North Carolina, including at the home of the youngest daughter, A.L. Dedman. Um, and they did take some things from her home as well, other electronics and things like that. So, are we close to an answer? Possible. Possibly. Um, but not necessarily. We've been disappointed before. So I learned not to get my hopes up. But I find nothing about a tooth in a Ziploc bag, although that's been around out there. Um, I wish that there would be more, and I have a feeling there will be a press conference. Now, this Underhill person lived in a rest home. He was not in any condition to commit a murder. Um, if he was drunk on lorazepam, the man didn't move very fast. Um, it's hard to say what police believe or what you think police believe, but I wonder about the death of that man. It's described that he was, and even in the papers it says he was sitting on the couch. Now, um, the fatal injury is unknown. That's a strange way of putting it. Um, yeah, fatal injury or illness. It doesn't say. Laying over couch. Oh, laying on couch. It's such a strange report. So he had alcoholism, substance abuse, hypertension. He smoked. Oh, Seroquel. Okay. Lorazepam, Seroquel, atenolol, A C E C, something like that, is the other drug. Um, the probable cause of death is pending. So they never put a cause of death. It's checked off as pending. So, going back to my own notes, um, her bag, by the way, was found in an area in between two of the properties. I can't imagine as a person who lives there now what you must be thinking, you know? And before the property owner and his wife lived there, his late brother lived there. Um, Hmm. It's going to take quite a while to go through all the evidence that they have, um, that they've obtained, because there's a lot of technology evidence, laptops, telephones. But I don't know what they're going to find on laptops, tablets, and telephones from 2024 as it relates to the year 2000. Um, in the year 2000, they didn't have tablets. They had cell phones, flip phones and stuff, but who still has the same phone they had in the year 2000? You know? Except maybe my father. Um, because if he could have, he would have. Not only because he was a cheap old duffer, as he used to call old people, but also because he didn't get along with technology. He didn't want a phone smarter than him. So, yeah, believe me, if he could have had the same cell phone all those years, he would have. But he went through a few, all flip phones. One he actually lost. So, anyway, I don't know what they're going to find, and I do not have any clue what this case is. The person circled appealed to Superior Court. And it says special conditions, a fee, and not to go on premises of Methodist Home Park. So I do not know what this is about. I still can't figure it out. And someone said that the death was natural causes. That is not what it says. It says pending, which means they didn't have enough information to come to a conclusion as to Mr. Underhill's actual cause of death. Usually it means they're waiting for toxicology. Now, I know that there are people who are alcoholic and who also happen to have serious bloody nose issues. I knew someone very dear to me who was a severe alcoholic, but also almost bled to death from bloody noses more than once. And I don't know if the two are connected, if there are blood vessel issues because of the overuse of alcohol, but because I know it can cause problems in the stomach. Um, so I don't know if maybe he got a bloody nose and just bled to death. That's almost what it sounds like in Underhill's death. Although the cause of death would have been exsanguination, which is just a fancy word for bled to death. But it's a wonderment that I have my mother's word, um, based upon um, my own knowing someone and loving someone not my parent, um, who went through that. So, um, my thoughts and prayers are with Harold, Jaquila, and O'Brien right now more than ever. um, and the lawyer for the Deadmans said, quote, I think there will be info that sadly will link a person to the circumstances of Ash's disappearance who is no longer living. Again, Mr. Underhill's a very unlikely suspect, given his condition. He didn't even drive a car. Again, he was a Vietnam veteran. He had been very badly injured and never quite got over, I guess, everything that he saw, which led to alcoholism, depression, probably PTSD, and wasn't in any condition to hurt a child. The only way I see that happening is in this scenario that I'm going to give you. The girls pick Asha up because they see her on the side of the road or whatever, and she gets in because it's a teenage girl. And Underhill is in the car with them, and Underhill has a flashback, doesn't know what he's doing, and accidentally kills Asha in the back seat. They go home with the body. It goes along with the scenario that they pick everything up in the car, which happens to be a shirt belonging to one of the daughters, and a book from Asha's school library that Asha didn't take out. A Dr. Seuss book. Well, if Asha didn't take it out, the school library knows who did. Because back then, you had to sign the little card to take the book out. They would have the card. They would know who took the book out. Anyway, I think Asha had the book. I think the book was just lent to her by whoever took it out. There was also found a picture of a different African American little girl, along with some candy wrappers, Ash's pencils, and Ash's Olympic pencils, and a couple of other little things that a lady found in her barn. And nobody's ever identified this other little girl. And it's not the Deadmans, because the Deadmans are white. So, where did that picture come from? The Degre family didn't recognize it. And it's definitely not Asha. So who is it? Or Asha? Okay, I want to read you Sergeant Norman's statement. The search warrants were obtained based on physical evidence directly connected to Asha's disappearance, he said. He continued, multiple items of interest were taken from the sites and will be analyzed. It is important to dispel rumors circulating about the investigation. Norman said the investigation is ongoing and official information will come from the sheriff's office. If you have any information in this case, you can call. Again, the FBI and the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office are offering a combined reward of $45,000 for anyone who has information that leads investigators to Asha or Asha degree. Anyone with information is asked to call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI. Or the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office at 704-484-4822. 704-484-4822. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, I am going to do a more condensed update in my October updates over on Kidmissing TV. Thank you so much. Excuse me. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys.